Today's session, this on water beings, why? Saturn teaches us how to combat chaos. Life is chaotic. The world is a chaotic place right now. Saturn in its longevity, right? When we think about the words, the keywords, the endurance, the resilience, the longevity, things that stand the test of time, right? So today is about how to survive and resist. And water knows how to do that. And once again, calling up Aaron Sullivan, a realized Saturn brings a peace of mind that cannot be paralleled, right? So again, leaning in to Saturn's watery wisdom may be supportive right now as we are alive in this particular quality of time, right? And so Saturn in Pisces, we want to call up the mystical Saturn, right? So for the next period of time, I'm going to reference Enki, E-N-K-I, right? Enki, which is the Mesopotamian Sumerian avatar, very early, pre-Hellenistic period, Saturn. And Enki doesn't really have a gender, or gender didn't operate in the same way. Like there are myths where Enki got themselves pregnant. Enki also, was able to have penetrative sex with a penis. I mean, so gender is not even the same thing. So hence I might say he or she or they, because it wasn't even the same, we're not even the same references at all. But the thing to remember is that, so Enki had several manifestations, and there's so many that feel so resonant for right now. And again, bringing us into Saturn's watery, pre and non and anti-patriarchal, anti-extractive, kind of some of the ways that modern day Saturn is held, the malefic. That's not how it started. Enki, in fact, had great fondness and love for humans and was adored by humanity. Sometimes called Nin Igiku, meaning of the holy eyes. So all-seeing, all-knowing, but in a very benevolent way. But I think it also speaks to that certain type of the relentlessness of Enki's transits, right? The ways that you can't escape the lessons. And just sort of like those moments where it seems like whichever way you turn, it's some variation on the same theme. But it's important to remember that that's also speaking to Enki was the deity to which people would turn when all other deities had abandoned them, right? Enki brought order to disorder. And as we see here, one of Enki's most important powers is to bring forth life, right? To assist in the flourishing of life force. During Enki's sort of reign, this is where we get the modern day sort of like Saturnian golden age, right? Like the earth was flourishing. There was no war or discord. Slavery and private property were actually not known to people. And that's from James Frazier's The Golden Bough, a study of magic and religion. Enki's also in the mythology, Enki is credited with creating the first divinatory dream. Right? So we know dreams are often associated with those Piscean waters, but the myth itself is the one that mimics the great flood myth of Noah and the ark. But this time it's in the Mesopotamian Sumerian world. You know, the gods had decided these humans are too much. They don't know. They're out of control. Let's kill them. So we're gonna bring this flood. They'll all drown. We'll just have a big old do-over. Enki, no, I love them. I love them. And Enki went and talked to a wall and told the wall to listen to the God's plan and then to tell the humans that were sleeping so that Enki could, you know, say, hey, I didn't tell him. And it would be, you know, so it speaks to a couple of things. That wisdom is also cunning. It's also knowing how to game the system a little bit, right? And that comes back in modern day Saturn's association with the Saturnalia, right? The kind of mischievous festival god of misrule, right? There's a cunning, there's a way. But yeah, the way that the wall transmits that information to the humans in order to save them is by offering the human a dream. And so Enki is also associated with, you know, divinatory or prophecy, prophetic dreaming. All of this is to say, how watery is that? Right? Enki is actually a deity of water. And this is further substantiated because Enki's name, right? Yes, there's a part that is the Lord of the Earth, and you'll hear that, and that's a lot of people associate also clearly Saturn, Lord of the Earth. There's other translation, Lord of the watery deep, house of water. And Enki, these two streams that flow from Enki's shoulders are the waters of the Apsu, right? The Apsu is the abyss of water and unknown, the primordial waters of creation that exist in the earth. And that is where Enki's kingdom or Enki's palace is, in the Apsu. And the Apsu, they're waters, but they are mythical waters, right? Again, they're like water plus, right? And Enki's dwelling was called the House of Wisdom, right? So thinking about that, a couple of other things as we're moving on. Enki's also associated with incantations. And it's, to say incantations, it's like, okay, words that are spoken, but to contextualize it, chants, songs, music, right? At prayers that are sung, right? Chanting, which is a part of how then also Enki is associated with purification, which then also extends to Enki oversees anyone who seeks to drive out evil in the world, right? At that point, you know, they were it was more considered like exorcisms. But if we think about, thinking about, again, there's a lot of ways to think about what is the world possessed with right now? And how do we drive that out? And how might Enki, right? Enki's transit through Pisces be offering us some support?